Hey, what's up, collectors, and welcome back. We're starting to see a huge inflow of capital coming into the Sword and Shield era of, products. And today I'm going to be going over possibly why it's happening, how much, higher can they go, what you should do as a collector investor. So let's go ahead and start with Fusion Strike. That's going to be the one where we're seeing the biggest amount of increase. So when we go to our 3-month chart, you're going to see back in February, it was steady around the 450 range, which still wasn't bad because the chase of the set is the Gengar and it was going for anywhere from like 600. So it's pretty healthy when the chase is close to the price of the booster box. Then you as a consumer can decide, do I want to try to chase it and open a box, which usually it's not worth it, or do I just want to buy the single, get my chase out of the way? Do I want to invest? Typically boxes don't shoot up higher than what like the highest value of the chase is by too much. So if we look at it, we start noticing a trend that once we hit May, more specifically like the 5th of May, we see a huge increase um, for a lot of these boxes. And so a buyout's definitely happening. We thought it was only going to be, the Sun and Moon. Sword and Shield was kind of skipped when the shift was slowly starting to move from modern to Sun and Moon, then XY, but now we're seeing it in the Sword and Shield era. So Fusion Strike, can it be $8,000 box? I think so. It's just happening a lot faster than we've anticipated. So I'm kind of on the sidelines right now. I do have the VMAX Gengar, but if you are looking to get some Fusion Strike, I probably would hold off right now because usually when there's a huge spike like that, we tend to see also a correction. Will there be a correction? I don't know. If the inflow keeps coming like that, who's to say? But if we go to the Gengar, it's interesting because the prices of singles is going the other way. So Gengar back in February was at 740. Now it's at 590. I've seen some go for 550 LP. So it's interesting that the box has now surpassed the chase by a lot. The differences on the box going way higher and the chase going way lower. So it's an interesting dynamic. Chilling Rain is also another target right now. I have seen a lot of buyouts, and right here we have kind of like a U shape. So back in February we were at 330. We had a little nice decline. You could pick up boxes for around 280. I picked one up at 275, which was great. But now, if you want a box, you're getting closer to the 360, 370. I've seen some listings as far as 400. Like, these prices are not accurate. eBay is all over the place. I'm seeing boxes constantly sold listings for 400. Um, but the chase is closer to the price of the box, so it is pretty interesting. We have the Blaziken, and back in February it was at 340, so it's relatively close to the price of the box. Went all the way to like close to 400, pretty much 400, and it's kind of plateaued. So the Blaziken has always been a safe bet for me because it doesn't have wild swings like the Gengar, like a $200 shift. The Blaziken, I feel long run. Some people have mixed feelings about the art. I personally love it, but I feel like it's one of those where if you can grab in the 360, 375 range, and you want to grade it, it's a good candidate to have. It's definitely a good one. Then we're also going to go to Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars wasn't touched for a long time. It was in, the Pokemon Center for some time and slowly sold out as, the big rush started coming in. Again, 3 months ago, you could pick it up for under 300 bucks, easy, all day. I saw listings for 260, 265. Now, if you want one, you're going to play close to 350, 360. I've seen some as high as 375 on eBay, which is, to me, it's kind of insane because when you look at the chase of the set, the Charizard is nowhere near that. It's actually been going down. So it's a beautiful art. I feel like it's definitely something that you want for your PC. But look at that, like that sharp decline went all the way, to like almost 220. Then boom, back down to 185. I've seen listings as low as 170. So it's interesting that the box is pretty much double the price of the chase of the set. Something you don't really see too often, which is very, very interesting. Another one that's really caught my attention is Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance is a set that nobody wanted for a long time. I feel like Astral Radiance is one of my top sets just because I love, the Beedrill is one of my favorite. The Palkia, Dialga, Starmie, Garchomp. I feel like the trainer gallery is amazing in this set. And I'm happy that I did buy a lot, but we are starting to see a increase. Again, the key dates are May 3rd to May 5th, where we see that the increase in all these Sword and Shield era boxes. But back then, you could get it as low as, even right here it says 227, but I've seen them as low as 190. But eBay right now, again, prices are swinging all over the place. And then if we go to the chase of the set, the Machamp, big, right now the focus is kind of like this right now with the singles. So we have them as low as 150, and then it's kind of going back to its 3 month, you know, price area at the 150. I wouldn't buy it at 150 if you're looking for the Machamp. I've seen them go to your local conventions. I've seen them for 130, 125. So hold off on the Machamp. I feel like it's going to decline a little bit more, just because it hasn't reached that 3 month mark yet. Again, but there's other great cards in that set, like the Garchomp and the Starmie. Battle Styles is an interesting one because if you look at the chart, you got almost a 20% increase. So going from 160 all the way to 192. And it's interesting because, the Sleepy T-Tar is one of my favorite arts. And when we look at it, I didn't have this one up just because Battle Styles caught me off guard. I didn't realize that it was going up so much. So that's the Japanese one. Such an amazing art. Definitely not as imposing as the IR from Paldea Evolve, but still an amazing, really cute art. From 140 to 155, 160. So not a huge increase. But the booster box, you're looking at a 20% increase versus a 10%. I would definitely wait for this one to go down a bit just because you can see it's kind of plateaued. It hasn't even hit a decline at all yet. So if you're looking for this one, I would say in the 145 range would be pretty good. And then the last one. So it's very interesting to look at Evolving Skies because you have all these other Sword and Shield era sets outpacing the growth of Evolving Skies, and a lot of that has to do with Evolving Skies just went up so fast, so high, so quickly. And when we look at it, a 5% increase from 3 months ago is not something to really be excited about. Unless you're in stocks like me, a 5% increase, I'll take that all day, every day. But we were looking at a low of 1360. Now you're looking around 1440, 1450. But it's interesting to see something like Astral Radiance outpace Evolving Skies. It's all these other sets that are catching up now that a lot of us felt were undervalued. So it's really cool. And then when we look at the Umbreon, the chase of that set, for a while this one was going down, and it was good because a lot of people get it for $1,000. That was the best one. It was at like $1,000. Boom, 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 boom. 3 months ago, 1,200, 1,300. Now it's climbing back up, but you can kind of see it plateaued early in May at around 1,350 is what I'm seeing a lot of listings at. And why is this happening? Well, there could be several reasons. I mean, Sword and Shield was kind of skipped as far as the market goes. We were very focused heavily on Modern. Then we went straight to Sun and Moon. We didn't get a chance to really hit on Sword and Shield. But now that the focus kind of shifted on X and Y a little bit, investors are just kind of coming back and being like, okay, Modern, Journey Together wasn't such a big set like everyone wanted. What about Sword and Shield? And so now we're seeing all these sets that we're like, oh, I'm so surprised it's still, blah, 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 $200. Now it's 300, 400, like Chilling Reign. Fusion Strike is just astronomically growing. We'll wait and see. 30 days. I'll make an update to see where we at. Can Fusion Strike hit $1,000 a box? Definitely it can. So my suggestion, if you're still looking for that Espeon, the Gengar, save up those trades. I always say try to save 50% trade and 50% cash. That way it's not a financial burden for you if you're really trying to get those cards into your PC. That's how I do it. I open up packs. I trade cards that I have doubles of or that I just don't want in my PC. I always try to save about 50% and then do 50% cash. I end up getting better deals as far as negotiating, like, hey, I'll do trade and cash. People tend to like that because they're not just getting cash right out. they're getting stuff for their inventory as well. That's going to be it for today, guys. Let me know if you guys were able to pick up some stuff before all this big Sword and Shield boom, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.